Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Imani, my
J. Bernard, my Kynes.
Well, I'm my Kynes too. I just have to keep remembering to say that, right?
Not necessarily. I mean,
no, it's cool.
Yeah.
It has to become part of what I'm used to saying. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us this evening for another episode of Progressively Yours Health and Wellness Podcast. We're excited to be here, and we have a special show for you all, as always. Hope everyone is doing well. I know that lots of people are out trick-or-treating, and, just hope that everybody's safe and that all goes well out there. A lot of people are moving from being out on the streets to doing home parties, and I think that's definitely safer for the children.
Especially.
Easier on the parents. So, anyway, whatever you're doing this evening, we hope you're having a great time. And if you miss us live, you can always go back and see all of the shows on a couple of ways you can access all of our past episodes. You can go to ceodrimani.com, ceobernard.com, and just click on Progressively Yours, and there's a link that has all of the episodes from the past. So anyway, before we get too far into our discussion, would you like to get us calm, centered, and balanced, please?
By all means. We are delighted again that you're with us. And if you would like, as I strike the tingshaws, just take in 3 deep cleansing breaths, in and out through the nose. Some may prefer to partly open your lips and breathe out as you breathe in through your nose. And I would like to invite you to close your eyes, relax your body and your muscles. I'm joining in with you to do the same. As you hear the tingshaws, allow the vibrations and the frequencies to run deep through your body. Keep breathing deep and full. As you continue to breathe, I want to invite you, just with your eyes closed, to imagine that you're standing on a beach, but it's night. Look into the sky and notice all of the stars. Now pick one star and just look upon that star. The words from Maurice White, the Earth, Wind, and Fire said, "You are a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. Allow that starlight to come directly into your forehead, just above your eyebrows, in between, and allow that light to enter into your being. We are a source of light from light. You are light. You are light in a world that needs you to shine brightly. Take in your light as we journey together tonight. Ashe.
Ashe.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Amen.
Amen. Well, as I mentioned, we have a special show this evening. We've decided that, and we love, love, love having guests who come on and talk about health and wellness. But we decided that we have so much that we would like to share. And when we started putting an outline together for the show this evening, we said, whoa, that's way too much for one show. So we're actually going to start out real slow and talk about some of our favorite health and wellness practices by way of giving you some tips, some funny stories, some videos, some examples. And the time is going to go fast, as it usually does. But the way I'd like to start, and we talked about this, was some of you have been watching us for a while and you have no idea who we are. So, other than Imani and Bernard, and now Imani and Bernard, married couple, Imani and Bernard, as well as co-hosts of Progressively Yours Health and Wellness Podcast. But we'd like to give you a little bit of detail about who we are and then go into our topics of health and wellness and some of the tips from things that we do on a daily basis and on a weekly basis, right?
Right on.
Okay, so who goes first?
I'm going to introduce you, if
Okay.
that's cool.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Well, I'm honored to be able to introduce you, and I'm humble at the same time. So I like what you've shared here, but I'm gonna read the technical introduction, and then I'm gonna add lib.
Then you can add libs.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So Imani is an award-winning author, wellness coach, health scientist, keynote speaker, podcast host, poet, and workshop facilitator. Graduate of Harvard, MIT, Columbia Universities, and Mount Holyoke College. Creator of Health Haiku, Healthy should be a while on there. Healthy Haiku workshops, the Healthy Haiku book series, and the overall strategy for teaching about health and wellness using poetry and creative expression. Mother of one wonderful son and 4 grandchildren. Grandmother of 4 grandchildren. Grandmother of 4 grandchildren. I think I got that right.
I think you got that right.
And she's the doggy mom of 2. A 9-year-old Belgian Malinois and a 9-month-old.
No, she's gonna be 1.
When?
This month, November
wow.
17th. Well, this month starting tomorrow.
She's almost 1, almost 110 pounds.
Over
110 pounds. Cane Corso.
Hola.
So check her out on ceodrimani.com.
And that's part of our digital card series that kind of starts with meetsankofa.com. So you can find everything under meetsankofa.com. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I get to introduce you.
How about that?
All right. So Bernard, my wonderful husband, is an ordained minister, a licensed marriage and family therapist, a clinical member and approved supervisor with the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, and ACPE, which stands for Association for Clinical Pastoral Education. He's a psychotherapist and podcast host with moi. He's the father of 4 wonderful adult children and 4 wonderful grandchildren also, and doggy dad of the same 2 dogs that he just referenced. And so the 2 of us have come together in a lot of different ways, but we've created the Sankofa Institute for Wellness and this particular podcast, Progressively Yours, Health and Wellness Podcast. And we have a new video about Sankofa, about the Institute that we would love to share with you. You ready for that?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Janet, please. Hello, I'm Dr. Imani Ma'at Kynes.
And I'm J. Bernard Ma'at Kynes of the Sankofa Institute for Wellness and the Progressively Yours Health and Wellness Podcast. The mission of Sankofa is to impact over 1 million people annually.
We offer transformational wellness workshops for businesses and their staff. General topics include mind, body, and spiritual wellness, and specific topics like dietary and lifestyle habits, forgiveness, and grief are some of the issues that we cover. Our workshops will help your organization in creating a harmonious environment while at the same time enhancing work productivity.
Imani and I have over 40 years of experience in consultation, health education, and organizational wellness. For more information, contact us at meetsankofa.com.
Good. I'm glad you were rocking as much as you thought. Anyway, that's our new intro, and that's on meetsankofa.com. Is it on meetsankofa.com?
I think so.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's our
yesterday.
our video card, and I mean it really takes place of our website right now because it's so easy to access using a QR code, using AirDrop, and just sharing with people very, very easily. And we update it all the time. If people are interested in getting their own video card or digital card, that's something that you can go to meetsankofa.com and get information about getting your own card. We love it. We love working with this team. They've been very, very supportive. We now have about 4 cards between us, video and regular digital cards. So they've very supportive. Anytime we need to make a change, we call them up or go on WhatsApp and ask for something, and they're like, got you. And they make the changes that we request. And anyone who has your card already is going to get whatever changes you make. So we're excited about working with Sean Lashley and his crew. They have been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to get into our topic for this evening.
I want to add something.
What would you like?
You have the greatest computer, right? That you can download the card and you can share it with others, particularly with the iPhone. You can AirDrop to others. And if you're interested, and we can talk later about this, if you're interested in your own digital card, you're able to access Sean and the team from our card.
From our side, absolutely,
Yeah.
So that's really, really easy to do. Just go to meetsankofa.com and it will come right up. So, all right. So you said you wanted to add some things about me. Did you add some things?
I will along the way.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to remind you. I don't want you to lose that thought,
Yeah.
Tell me more. So we do want to just do a little disclaimer since we're going to be talking about health and wellness. This is not, what we're sharing is not medical advice. Please consult a physician or other healthcare practitioner when considering making changes to your lifestyle and your health regimen. The main reason is because you want to make sure you're healthy. You want to check your baseline, right? You want to know, what are your numbers? Where are you? How's your pressure? How's your weight? How's other measurements that are taken?
Yeah, I think that's
Hormonal
very,
issues.
very important. Is having your baseline check. knowing what your blood pressures are, knowing what your cholesterol levels are, etc. And doing that, especially when you hit age 40 and beyond, at least annually, so that you have a clear understanding, and hopefully you have a great physician, or a good physician, or a solid physician who can work with you once they do the.
I hope you can still see us. They probably
Well,
can.
if you okay,
Yes, they
thank
can.
you. Yeah.
I was just trying to connect to comments. There's people are saying hello to everybody in the chat. For some reason,
Yeah,
I normally pull it up on the phone, and I was trying to do it on the computer.
Yeah,
so
you won't be able to do it on this computer, so you might have to pull it up on the phone.
Yeah, I'll
But
try.
anyway,
I'll try. While we're speaking.
yeah, get a baseline, get an annual physical. That's very, very important. I discovered I had heart disease back in 2003.
Right.
And the only way I discovered that was because I had been accustomed to getting an annual checkup. And so between years, my blood pressure had gone up undetected. Wow. And I didn't feel it. But by the time I went to my physician, right, my primary care doctor at the time said, "Come back tomorrow, your pressure is up." She gave me some medication. I took it. I went back the next day. It was on a Wednesday, and my pressure was up. And she said, "You're going to see a cardiologist today." I said, "Well, I have clients. I got to go back to the office." She said, "Oh, no, you canceling them. You're going today." Wow. And I met my cardiologist, who is currently my cardiologist. I see just for periodic checkup every 6 months. Come to find out that I had inflammation in my heart. It had thickened 1 millimeter beyond its normal size. Wow. Took 3.5 years to get it back into range. And I never will forget what he said to me one day. He said, "Mr. Kynes, if this had been a year or so longer, you would have had serious problems for the rest of your life." Wow. So getting annual, quarterly, not quarterly, semi-annual physical is very, very important for baseline. We'll talk more about that as we go on.
And I guess to add to that, once you had that wake-up call, that's really when you started making some changes to your lifestyle.
Yeah, right? You're absolutely right. Fear at times can be your friend.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I was depressed. I was going through a lot of things. I was in my doctoral program. Practice was growing. And he indicated to me that I needed to start back exercising, which I had stopped once I had retired from the military. I was nearly 300 pounds. It's like 285 and climbing. And it took me 6 months before I started exercising. And I haven't looked back on that. So I'll share more as we move on. But yeah, it did cause me to change. I was afraid and needed to and did begin to make gradual changes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, you're still here, and I'm glad. Things might have been really different had you not made those changes.
Things would have been different.
Whew. He actually showed me a picture of himself from years ago, and I thought it was somebody else. I said, "Who is that?" He said, "That's me." And I said, "Wow." That's all I said was, "Wow." Which means you've been doing the work, and I think that's the important part of this. When you're doing the work, you reap the benefits. Your body feels better. You present yourself differently to the world. You get more self-confidence. You're not depressed anymore. So it affects you in so many ways. Yeah. So I'm glad that that you had that wake-up call and that you implemented those changes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So one of the ways we talked about tips about our lifestyle and what we do. And, we take what we do for granted. There's a particular practice, and, we always start our show with a little bit of meditation and breathing. And there's a particular practice that I've been doing for well over gosh, probably about 25 years. I mean,
Mhm.
it's been a long, long time that I've
Mhm.
been involved with the practice called Sky Breathing by the Art of Living Foundation. And it's a wonderful, wonderful practice. It's something that I do most mornings. I actually now rotate between waking up and doing the sky breathing with a group of folks and going to hot yoga, which I'll talk about too. But I want to give you a little bit of overview about the sky breathing. A wonderful couple, John and Alice Holliday. I met them in Atlanta many, many years ago. Well, like I said, about 25 years ago, and was introduced to this wonderful practice that was started by a gentleman by the name of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. You can look him up. You can look up Sky Breathing. You can look up Art of Living Foundation, which is how we always refer to it. Sky is an acronym, and I'll share what that acronym stands for. It was Sudar. I messed it up. That's why I wasn't going to say it.
That's okay. Give it a shot.
Okay. It is Sudarshan Kriya. And we always talk about practicing Kriya. And so I'm going to share a little bit of an overview of a video where people are talking about this practice and what it has done for them in terms of balancing their life, changing their lives, building their self-esteem, just really equipping them with so much. But the breath is so important. And many of us are used to doing shallow breathing. You know, we don't even realize. So one of the reasons I love this practice is because you have to breathe, you know, and so there are like 4 different ways that we breathe in addition to meditation. But each practice kind of builds on the next one. And the practice is truly amazing. I mean, it has helped people who are sick, you know, and I mean, really all they needed was good oxygen in their body and in their bloodstream. So let's look at this little video because it'll give you a little, a funny part of the story is that soon after I met Bernard, I told him about this, but he didn't realize that it was like a prerequisite to being with me. He had to know how to do this.
Among other things.
He had to be able to do this practice with me because you have to, in order to do it with the group, you have to go through the training. So I knew that you couldn't do the practice with me. Right. You couldn't do the practice with me until you went through the training. So he was very obedient and said, okay, I'll do it. Whatever. Let's go. Let's breathe.
There's another old word that she really meant to use. It's called open.
He was open. He was very
opportunity.
Open to, that's a better word.
It's a different word.
It's a better word.
Better? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit better. So we're gonna show you a little clip about the sky breathing, and you can make your own assessment. But this is how this is a practice that we both do. I think I do it more than you still at this point, but I love it, and I would not give this up. I think it's and I take it for granted because I've been doing it so long. So here you are. You'll see a little clip of the sky breathing.
It was life-changing. Even when things weren't going right, and even when I don't look like or act like things are going right, I'm happy inside.
Sky was good. It kind of put you in that space where it's like you focus where you need to, which is on yourself. And it puts you in a place of self-care and mental health care. So it was good. And I had the best rest doing some of our meditations that I didn't have. I got some sleep. So it was great.
I don't know, the breathing just opened up something in me where it's just, I could just feel better about myself.
Until I did this course, did I really feel like I'm living, like I'm really alive.
I have tangible tools now to keep myself calm through any situation.
I gotta tell you, that first night I learned the sky breath technique, it blew my mind. It was like somebody took all the stress of my finances, my career, everything, and just dumped it in the trash. I was finally free and clear.
Sky meditation has helped me learn how to relax, relieve negative energy and negative stress. It's a way of me taking care of myself so I can then take care of my veterans and my patients when I see them.
It's very cool having this breathing technique that offers you that instant alignment.
Sky meditation gives me focus and clarity of mind. It allows me to be centered in even difficult situations. I found that I was not only happier, but more centered and complete.
Sky breath to me is becoming one with all. After I do Sky, I feel very connected to myself and connected to nature and connected to people. And it just makes me feel really alive and human.
The practices and all of the whole art of living thing kind of takes that shell away, and then life can just blossom.
Doing these breathing techniques, today was a different day. And I really think that the more I do this, and I am going to do this consistently because I know that it is going to help me.
I'm not taking any medication for anxiety. I'm not taking any sleep aids. I'm not taking any meds. And that is not a giant step, that's a giant leap.
After I do Sky, it's like I'm ready for the day. I always feel better, no matter what my frame of mind was when I sat down. Better on top of better most days, but I always feel better.
And like I said, I'm amazed that in 3 days and just, doing the Sky breathing, how good you can feel.
Yes, thank you for that. That was a beautiful illustration from testimonies, and my own testimony to Sky Breathing, as Imani invited me to take the class. I really enjoyed it, and Wednesday night has been my time to do it with John and Alice. I haven't for a few months now because my schedule has changed, but I will get back into it. But what they were saying, I ditto. But what I really enjoyed about it was that if I had a long day, the meditation part at the end was extremely relaxive after going through the 4 stages of breathing. So it's a wonderful, wonderful, I call it a spiritual process for me in getting in touch with the breath, which is symbolic of our spirit self.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, absolutely. And a little bit, I had taken some notes because I wanted to make sure that we were real thorough in terms of how we describe this. Sky uses specific rhythms of breath to eliminate stress, strengthen the immune system, dissipate overpowering emotions, and restore peace of mind. There are 2 aspects to the breath: oxygen, which nourishes and purifies the physical body, and prana, which is our life force energy that nourishes and purifies the subtle body, mind, and emotions. The body releases 70% of toxins through breathing. Who knew that? Most people don't know that. And if we do little shallow breathing, we're not getting rid of the toxins, okay? There also exists a deeper connection between the breath, the mind, and emotions. As we experience different emotions, our breathing patterns change automatically. Whenever we experience happiness, the breath is light. Similarly, whenever we experience sadness, it becomes real heavy. And sometimes, how when we're frightened, we hold our breath. It's like we're not breathing at all. It's like it's just taking our fear, our sadness, whatever is just taking our breath, taking our life, because the breath really equates to being life. Mm-hmm. Sky breathing is a powerful technique that utilizes this built-in connection, allowing for effortless, deep relaxation, purification, and rejuvenation throughout the entire nervous system, resulting in an inner state of calm, restful alertness, and increased vitality. And so this organization just recently organized a world a global festival in Washington, D.C. We weren't able to attend, but we saw snippets of it. And I think the whole thing is on all of the speeches. They had African dancing. They had a number of things, because this particular organization really promotes diversity. It promotes self-esteem and belief in yourself, whoever you are. So that festival happened. We were out of, I think it's when we were out of town. But anyway, just wanted to share with you about this wonderful, wonderful technique. And what we've shared really doesn't even scratch the surface, because as we're learning about the breathing techniques, we're also learning about certain, I guess, just they call it wisdom, and different things. I remember there was an exercise we did where everybody lined up. We lined up with two lines of people sitting and facing each other, sitting on the floor, cross-legged style. And we sat with one person for a while, maybe about 2 or 3 minutes. And then, one line rotated and we're sitting and, talking, just not talking, but just looking at the other person. And there are people that couldn't get through that exercise without tears coming down, because part of the practice is, what we say, namaste, the divine in me sees the divine in you. And when you sit with someone like that, and you're not in a judgmental space, you're just in a pure loving space, you sit with them and it's like you're looking at God. They're reflecting back you, and you're reflecting back who they are, and you don't even know this person, but your hearts are like touching. And so that's an exercise that has always stuck with me in terms of the humaneness that's shared through this organization and through the practices. I know we had to move on, also went on 2 different silent retreats with the art of, traditionally we're calling it the Art of Living Foundation. Now people are referring to it as sky breathing. But with Alice and John, we went on 2 different silent retreats, and it was by far one of the best experiences of my life. We talk so much, and of course we're talk show hosts, so we're going to talk. But when you're going through a silence program, and throughout the day you're doing meditation, you're doing yoga, you're just relaxing, you're falling asleep, as I heard a sister say in the video, you get so deeply in touch with you, and kind of like with the God inside, or goddess inside of you. So if you ever get a chance to go on a silent retreat, I know there are places called where they do Vipassana, and I believe there's one in Atlanta, there's one, or Georgia, maybe outside of Atlanta, but in Georgia. And they're in a couple different cities around the country, and they do like, I think 11-day silent retreats. It's phenomenal. I mean, just to stop the chatter and to go in and to be at peace is one of the most powerful things I've ever done. And so I would highly, highly, highly recommend that to everyone. So thank you for indulging us to learn about sky breathing and all that it does for us. You can look them up at worksofwonder.org and find out about the schedule. When I took the training years ago, there was a cost attached to it. I think they do it for love offerings. I mean, because they really want people to get these practices.
You're on a roll there, dear sister.
Am I?
Yeah. So in light of breathing and moving, why don't you share with our audience about something else? Well, no, I can't say you introduced me. You introduced me to Bikram, but you did not introduce me to hot yoga as another component for taking care of our health. Tell us about Bikram.
So on mornings that I'm not doing the Kriya with the group, sometimes when I don't do it with the group, I still do it on my own. We call it the home practice. And we all know how to do it. It's just fun to do it with a group and to have somebody guiding you through the process. But on other mornings, like this morning, I went to Bikram yoga. My sister Arlene, who I think is still on with us, she introduced me to Bikram yoga.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Gosh, again, that was probably about at least 20 years ago. At least 20 years ago, because at this particular studio that I go to, I had them look up my dates, and I think 2005 was when I started. So okay, it's just short of 20 years.
Arlene will
But
remember.
Arlene introduced me. She was going to a studio in Arlene's my ride and live. You know, our family has lots of twins in it, and we're like the twins who are 2 years apart. So I've just accepted that she's my 2-year younger twin sister. But anyway, so she introduced me to Bikram years ago, and I've kept it up. She the studio she was going to, I think in New York City, was maybe out of reach or not convenient after a while, but she definitely still appreciates it. Sometimes when she's here, I encourage her to come with me to hot yoga. And so Bikram, there are a lot of different styles of yoga, and Bikram yoga started by a gentleman by Chaudhry. I think it's Chaudhry. It's 26 postures that are done twice, you know, in a series. And you start with breathing exercises, you end with breathing exercises, and in between you're guided. It's a guided. Well, most yoga classes are guided. And the thing that's unique about, and most people don't even call it Bikram yoga anymore because there's some issues around the person who started it. So most people just say hot yoga. And I usually tell people, I'm going to my hot yoga class. But the thing that's unique about this type of yoga is that it's hot in the room. It's generally around 105 degrees with high humidity. So it's hot and it's humid. And I remember the first time that I went, I did all I could do to just stay in the room, you know. And I remember them saying when I came in, they said, well, you know, you could just sit here and watch the whole thing the first time just to get used to being in a room that's so hot. And I took them seriously about sitting. And for a whole 90 minutes, I mean, I started off doing the exercises, and after about 10 minutes of feeling like I was being smothered and couldn't breathe, and was just amazed that people were doing these wonderful poses. And I was a little intimidated that first time. I sat for a lot of it. I laid down because I just couldn't sit up anymore. But I was intrigued by the fact that there were people who went, and they went all the time. And having been very active in sports and cheerleading and running track and so forth when I was younger, I like a good challenge. So after going and sitting through most of the class, I came back maybe the next day and signed up and said, I want to do this. I want to learn how to do this. I'm going to make myself do this. If they can do it, I can do it. And I've been practicing for many, many, many years. I can't say enough about the practice and the people. The studio that I go to in Atlanta is called Still Hot Yoga. I actually have on one of their t-shirts. No, Still Hot Yoga. Maybe you can see it. But the people are wonderful. It's kind of like a community. Mm-hmm. There are classes for 90 minutes. There are classes for an hour. There are classes for 75 minutes. I usually go to the 75-minute classes now, early in the morning to get it done, get it over with. And again, no regrets, because I find that, it's aerobic because it gets your heartbeat up. And, you know, when there are standing postures for maybe half of the class, and then you're down on the floor for the other half of the class. But especially for the balancing series, you know, we call them series. It's a balancing series. It's a back strengthening series when you're on the floor. There's what are the other? I mean, I know they have names for them, but
I don't know the names. I just go through the motions with
just go through the motions. But it's so good. It's so good for your body. And I always encourage people, if your thing may not be working out, because it really does feel like a workout in a 105-degree room with high humidity, but choose your favorite exercise and activity. I mean, you have to choose. I mean, there are people who, as we get older, our bodies get, and we sit around and kind of have a sedentary lifestyle. That's when the diseases and the issues and all of that, those things start occurring. And I've heard a lot of people, even top nutritionists, who say exercise is even more important than diet. And diet is very important. We're going to do a whole session on nutrition because it's just so much to cover. But having your special workout routine is so very important. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you do in the morning when you get up and leave at 5 in the morning? Sometimes 4:30, sometimes 4:15. Okay. I just say turn off the lights, please, before you leave.
Kind of part of my agenda. Thank you for that. I have enjoyed hot yoga. I was doing regular hot yoga. I said regular. Wasn't Bikram
or I know.
Vinyasa.
Vinyasas.
And so I do like it. I won't say I enjoy it, but I do like the Bikram. But part of my workout schedule, I've modified it over the years because several years ago, a doctor at a medical facility where I go pretty regularly, said to me, he said, "Kynes, for you, more is less." He said, "As you're aging, your body just doesn't need it much. So more is less." So it's taken me probably about 6 years for that to register in my brain. But I thoroughly enjoy working out in all of the exercises that I do. So for me, Sunday, I'm up and I leave Imani and I go swim probably for 15, 20 minutes. Then I leave swim and join her at the hot yoga studio. And what I've noticed, you talk about the breathing, the swimming gets me in a rhythm with my breath. And it is one of the most peaceful meditative exercises that I do in addition to the yoga in the water, because it's just you in the water, me in the water, I should say, and as I'm moving through, do various strokes to just get my cardio up, and really to be alone. I'm by nature more introverted than I am extroverted, and the pool just agrees with part of my temperament. Then I would go and we would do the Bikram or the still hot yoga. And what I like about that is I like to sweat, and I sweat really easy anyway. So within the first 20 minutes, I'm drenched. And the sweating is important because it clears out the pores, it's bringing toxins out of the body up and out, and it's very necessary for the internal cleansing of our organs. So I enjoy that. That's a Sunday. Then after that, I have a person whose name is Manny, who was on our show sometime back, who stretches me for 1 hour. And it's amazing to be stretched. You say, well, you stretch after you stretch in yoga. Well, it's different because you have someone pulling. If you've not had someone to stretch you before, they're moving you in ways you can't move yourself. So it's really helpful, and it's also relaxing. Mondays, I'm up pretty early to get to the Y. I do this exercise with a group called TRX, and I've been doing TRX since probably about 2010, where you use straps and you use your own body to do the exercise, and there are hundreds of positions. It's very challenging. It challenges your balance, your stability, You're using your own muscle weight. And back when I first started, I was a little bit heavier, and the instructor would say, of the 6 or 7 of us in the class, Bernard is working the hardest. And I said, well, we're all doing the same thing. And then one day she said, yeah, but you carry more weight than anybody else in the class, so you're having to work a little bit harder. Wow. She was right. And so I like to do TRX at least twice a week. So now I'm on the Monday and Thursday rotation for TRX. I ride the Peloton after that for 15 minutes just to do cardio work. There's some cardio in TRX, but it's primarily for strengthening, balance, and mobility. Tuesdays, I'm usually swimming or doing the Peloton or doing a spin class. I like to spin for 45 minutes. And we have 2 wonderful instructors that I enjoy at the Y where I attend here in Metro Atlanta. Wednesday, I'm lifting weights, riding Peloton or doing the Stairmaster. Thursday, I'm doing yoga with Tim, Vinyasa yoga for about 45 minutes.
How do people access? Because that's right on like YouTube.
That's on YouTube. And I like Yoga with Tim on YouTube because Tim is very slow. He's an excellent teacher. He's not rushing through the moves. And it's a very meditative type of yoga. And I enjoy that time with him. Friday, sometimes I relax, but usually I go. Thursday also, I'm doing a TRX. Friday, weights again. And whereas at one time I was working out maybe for 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours, I've cut it back now to 45 minutes to an hour because my body just doesn't need it anymore. And I could tell a difference when if I worked out too long, it would interfere with my day because I would be drained by 3 o'clock because I've been up since 4:30, 5 o'clock. So now that I do consistent short bursts, my energy is up. And Saturday, I just rest the body so the muscles can just regroup and prepare for the next day. So, my routine it fluctuates sometimes. Sometimes I may take 3 days off, and I can tell the difference when I go back maybe on the 4th day. But movement is very important, and I'm inspired when I go to the Y because there are people there of all ages, all sizes.
There's some like in their 80s, right?
In their 90s.
In their 90s. Wow.
I have one person. She's not coming now. She had back surgery at 88. They had she had to fuse some discs, and she would be there every morning when the door was opening at 5 a.m. She'd work out for 1 hour, and then she would depart. The people who have various bone structure issues, but they're there, and there's such a motivation to me. And I let them know that. I say, you are my hero. And I appreciate that you are here because it keeps me coming. So it's very, very important for movement to get circulation, oxygen again, back to the breathing, get the heart rate up,
get the blood flowing.
Yeah, it's
important.
So I enjoy the routines that I've been doing really for years. I started back when I was in the military, and so now I've just become more scientific with it.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
And I also find that, and this is important because we talk about mind, body, spirit. I find that discipline in exercise, discipline in anything rolls over to discipline in other areas as well. So if you tend to be a clutter queen like me, the more you're with someone who's not a clutter king, and doing the work, doing things consistently on a time schedule, on a day schedule, I find I'm getting better, right?
She's getting better.
I'm not as much of a clutter queen as I used to be.
Yeah, when I came home yesterday and saw this table in our
Totally
room
cleaned up.
clean,
Totally.
I didn't say anything. I just had an internal smile. And
No,
said,
you said, I'm proud of you. I'm proud. I'm like, don't be proud of me. I said, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. But it all life is a continuum, and everything is connected. Everything is connected, and everything is energy. What we put out comes back to us. If we have when I used to work at the jail with the local sheriff in DeKalb County, and I used to tell my students, I said, if you have a stink attitude, that's what you're gonna get back at you.
I have a real time story on that. Because
that?
what you're saying is spot on. Last Tuesday morning, so every morning for me, not only getting up, it's also part of my meditation and spiritual time. We'll get into the other part of that in a later show when we talk about what's the name of that process? The enemas. When we talk about
internal cleansing.
Internal cleansing.
Internal cleansing.
But anyway, last Tuesday morning, as I'm going through my meditative process, I was putting out to the universe. I said, today I am going to be a light in people's lives. Today I'm going to be a blessing in whoever I come into contact with. And I wasn't just thinking about my clients that I would see later today. Today I am grace. Today I will offer love to somebody. I leave to go to the Y. Is 5:15, and there's an older African-American woman walking with a cup. She's looking for money, and I said, I don't have any change or any small currencies. And she came up to my truck, and I was going, and then it came to me. You just put out in the universe, you're going to be a blessing in someone's life. So she went to the vehicle in front of me. It was a long light, and she came back, and she wasn't aggressive. There was this humble spirit on her face. So I let the window down, and we had a conversation. I found some money, and I gave it to her, and then I had this download come over me. The spirit come over me and say, ask her to repeat after you. Now, I didn't know what I was going to say. I said, will you repeat after me? And she said, yes. I said, today I am a blessing. She said, today I'm a blessing. I said, today I am grace. She says, today I am grace. Today I am healed. She said, today I am healed. And I said, Ashe. Ashe. Namaste. Amen. And she said, thank you. Thank you. And she was about 70, early 70s. And I pulled off, and I looked in my side view mirror, and she was still standing in my direction going, thank you. So
nice.
I didn't anticipate that. I just put out. So what we put out, as you said, Imani, it comes back
to us. And
so we must offer ourselves as light and love and grace to the universe, and it comes back in ways that you cannot anticipate.
Right.
And
because you gained from that experience as much as she gained from that experience.
Yeah,
and that's the deep part, because we go through things like that, and we move on, and the tears are coming down. It's like, why am I teary? It's like out of joy and gratitude that you could be of service, that you could touch somebody, who was, and you acknowledge them as a human being.
As a human being. See, it wasn't about the money.
Right, not at all.
Exchange.
Not at all.
It's about the spirit of love and grace and appreciation, humility. I just saw humility. So, that will be with me forever, for as long as I'm here. And this is why we're here on earth.
It is. And so I want to just introduce, we have, I mean, people have called me a gadget person.
Well,
and we
yeah.
have lots and lots of gadgets, but we have one in particular that has to do with energy and vibrations. Albert Einstein had said at one point that everything is vibration, and future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. So we have this device, the AO scan, made by Solex, and we actually have a couple versions of it. I've got a big tablet. You can actually see the frequencies that are running on mine right now.
You can see both.
And
yeah.
you've got yours running
Yeah.
as a phone.
Mine is on memory, focus, and clarity. This is on the selfie target.
Yeah, these devices have like 300,000 frequencies, some large amount. And there are programs that work with your voice. It actually creates like a program that's built around you, your voice, your date of birth, your age, takes a picture of you. And when you speak into it, it actually does a reading of a scan of your whole body. Let me give you just this little brief video, and we're going to have to talk about it more on a future show. But we obviously love this device. We have two of them and use them on a pretty regular basis. So let's see the.
Everything has a frequency, even our bodies. The body's cells can create and receive energy. This energy is information that functions through sending and receiving specific frequencies. When these natural frequencies become mixed up, so does the body's ability to self-regulate and maintain healthy function. We begin to feel unwell. Maybe we are more tired than usual, or have a change in appetite. We may even become sick. When this occurs, the body's frequency level or vibration must be changed. When we want to listen to a particular radio station, we need to tune into the correct frequency of that station in order to reach it. Our bodies are the same way. We need to tune into the correct frequencies to reach the optimal state of being. What if you had a way to measure your own frequencies and, in turn, could use optimizing frequencies to improve your vibration? The answer is now available in the palm of your hand. The AO Scan technology by Solex sends and receives energy, frequency, vibration, and resonance signals, so you know what is going on inside your body. Designed to scan and measure frequencies, then compare them with their established blueprint, AO Scan is able to show variances. Using noise-canceling technology, AO Scan emits opposing frequencies that disable frequencies in chaos, so your body can rest. The result is a movement toward a balanced body and mind. So what exactly are we talking about? Let's get started. Think you can beat a lie detector test? Think again. Your voice will always tell the truth, whether you want it to or not. Did you know that your thoughts and emotions are carried in your vocal cords? No amount of masking your voice can change that fact. Our inner voice scan is derived from the same technology as a lie detector test. The Inner Voice program helps harmonize your emotional state, including concentration, creativity, and emotional intelligence. This program records a 10-second sample of your voice to isolate and analyze imbalances in your emotional state that present themselves through your vocal cords. The Inner Voice report will display 3 notes or octaves that are out of balance, as well as the main octave that is being suppressed, and 4 MP3 files are generated. These therapeutic songs, called balancing harmonics, will then play. These tones are unique to your energetic needs. The music files incorporate.
So there are lots of programs on here. That was just a sample of one. But one of the things that we were just having a little sidebar is that, frequencies don't know time or space. So you can actually use these programs remotely. I know the company doesn't really talk about that anymore because they don't want any liabilities. We've done it many times. You can have a friend who's on the other side of the country who has got some type of dis-ease or discomfort, and you can program in the person, have a picture have them send a picture of themselves, and you put in their particulars, your date of birth, age, height, weight. And, and they speak into the program, and it actually creates tones that you can then send them on their computer, on their phone or computer. And so it actually works remotely, and it works with pets as well. One of our dogs was really, really ill a couple weeks ago. I don't know what she had eaten or whatever, but she ended up having all this mucus created, and she ended up getting pneumonia, which is pretty serious. And she's a puppy, even though she's big. But I played tones for her as part of, she did have to get meds from the veterinarian, but yeah, we're at time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
There's so much to share. We will have, I think there may be a link in there, Janet, for people to get more information about the AL scan, as well as other devices that are available. We'll bring some more information next time.
So as a way of closing out, I want to share a definition about wellness. Wellness, says the World Health Organization, is the optimal state of health of individuals and groups. Of wellness is expressed as a positive approach to living. Wellness is an active process of growth and change to reach your fullest health and well-being. And with that, we want to thank you. We will continue this series with more health and wellness points and other areas that we think will be beneficial for all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. It is for the ancestors that we come.